Hello, and welcome to Beyond the Spotlight, the chill spot where we can talk about real life stuff that every student goes through. I'm Ella, and today we'll be talking about something that we all know, and that is stress. But don't worry, you're not alone. We've invited some senior high school students with different interests, passions to share how they handle stress in their own ways. So let's sit back, relax, and figure out together how to make stress a little bit stressful. First off, we have Kylie, a passionate and hardworking student who creates promotional videos adapting her school projects. She's an influencer who uses her creativity and dedication to inspire others, while managing both her academics and online presence. Next meet, we have a sensei, an athletic student who balances academics with physical training and competitions. He's someone who loves playing basketball and shows discipline, endurance, and dedication in both the court and the classroom. Next meet, we have Carl, a student who finds peace and creativity in music. He loves playing the guitar, expressing his emotions in every stroke, and finding comfort in every melody he reaches. And finally, we have Elon, a hardworking student who manages his life through live stream. He balances academics and content creation, showing great determination, time management, and passion while pursuing both education and academic success. Before we begin, let us define what stress really is. Stress is the body's natural response to pressure or challenges that we encounter in our daily lives. It can come from schoolwork, responsibilities, relationships, or even personal goals. Not all stress is harmful because there is what we call eustress or positive stress, which motivates us to do better, stay focused, and reach our goals. Meanwhile, this stress or negative stress appears when the pressure becomes overwhelming, leading to the feelings of anxiety, exhaustion, or loss of motivation. Understanding the difference between the two helps us manage our emotions and maintain a healthy balance in life.
I agree, Ella. Stress is something that every student experiences, but learning how to handle it really makes a difference. It's not always bad because sometimes it pushes us to do our best and grow stronger.
Alright, before we dive deeper, let us talk about something that connects all of us, which is stress. High school life is full of challenges from academic deadlines to social pressures and family expectations. According to a recent report from the American Psychological Association and a local student wellness survey, about 60 to 70% of high school students experience stress regularly, especially during exam weeks or big school events. These studies show how stress is a common part of student life, no matter what field they are in. So let us hear it from our guests. What usually causes your stress as a student and how do you handle it? Let us start with you, Asense. What kind of stress do you often experience as a student athlete?
For me, one of the biggest causes of stress is academic pressure. As a student athlete, I need to manage my time between schoolwork and trainings. There are days when I come home late from practice and I still have assignments or projects to finish. It is tiring because I push through because I do not want to give up on either my sports or either my studies.
That is really inspiring, Asense. Balancing sports and studies is definitely not easy. Now, how about you, Carl? What usually causes stress for someone who loves music?
So personally, since I really like playing guitar and I like music, so I can very much relate to that. So in my case, school projects and personal expectations cause a lot of stress. And because of I love playing the guitar, and that task keeps piling up, when I cannot express myself through music, it makes me feel more pressured. So I try to play even just for a few minutes to relax or just to relax my mind and feel some relaxation for myself.
That is a great way to cope. Music really helps us calm the mind. How about you, Ellen? What kind of stress do you experience as a student who also likes it?
For me, I think stress mostly comes from time management and social expectation. Live streaming and studying at the same time can be really hard, and sometimes I feel pressure to stay active online because people expect content from me. But I also need to focus on my grades. So balancing both feels stressful, especially when people think it is easy just because it is online.
That is true, Ella. Managing two works like that takes a lot of effort. Now, Kylie, how about you? What causes stress for an influencer like you who is also a student?
As an influencer and a student, I feel the weight of family expectation and online pressure. My parents want me to prioritize my school, but at the same time, I also want to grow as a creator. Managing both worlds is stressful, especially when deadlines for school and brand projects overlap. But I remind myself that both are part of me, so I try to stay positive and organized.
Thank you for sharing, Kylie, and to you as well. It is clear that stress can come from many sources such as academics, social life, family, or even the things we are mostly passionate about. What is important is we recognize and learn to manage it in healthy ways. Thank you all for sharing your experiences about the causes of stress. It is clear that each of us faces different challenges, but what really matters is how we deal with them. Now let us talk about coping mechanisms, or the healthy ways we can manage stress. Let's move on. I believe in the saying that every cause has an effect. Since we've already discussed the usual causes of stress on students like you guys, would you like any of you to share the effects of stress on you?
I will volunteer to answer that question. So, stress can be very overwhelming, as we all know, since we are all experiencing it. So, personally, I love playing music. So, because it's my way of escaping reality, and it's my way to express myself as an individual. But when schoolwork starts piling up, and I'm trying to keep up with academics and playing my guitar, it can be very much overwhelming. More than the stress that I'm experiencing right now. It comes to the point that when I pick up my guitar, I feel like I don't have time for this. Like I should be focusing on my priorities, and that's when I know that I'm actually feeling burned out, and I'm starting to feel overwhelmed by the things that's happening around me, and the things that I enjoy doing for my daily basis. It starts to feel heavy.
For me naman is balancing school and live streaming may sound fun, but honestly, it can get really stressful. There are nights that I would stay up doing my victories of live streaming, and then I have to wake up early for class. I thought I could handle that first, but lack of sleep really affects my physical health. I get tired easily, lose focus in school, and even streaming doesn't feel exciting anymore. The more I push myself, the more I drain I get. That's when I realized that stress can really affect you, not just physically, but also on the things you love.
For me naman, as a student athlete, stress is something I deal with all the time. From trainings to school deadlines. Then one time, I read an article from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research na that too much physical and academic stress actually can really affect your performance on both games and academics. There are days that when I'm stressed with academics, it reflects on my performance on the court. It really proves that stress doesn't only affect your mind, but also your body.
Thank you so much for sharing. We can really see that stress hits us in different ways. But what matters is how we take care of ourselves and what we do. Thank you all for sharing your experiences about the causes and effects of stress. Hearing your story really shows that stress affects each of us differently, depending on what we go through as a students. Now that we talked about what stresses us out, let us move on to something just as important, how we deal with it. In other words, our coping mechanisms, or the healthy ways we manage stress in our daily lives. According to the American Psychological Association, students who take care of their body and mind through exercise, mindfulness, stress, time management, and seeking support from others tend to perform better and feel more positive. But instead of just talking about it, let us add a little twist. I want each of you to share your go-to coping habit and then give a short tip that might help others who are listening right now. Let us start with Asense.
So, for me, as a student athlete, I manage stress by playing basketball because student athlete, right? Because it helps me release all the tension and to clear my mind. So, tip for others is to keep yourself active, even with simple exercises, because movements helps refresh your thoughts.
That is awesome, Asense. I agree with staying active really keeps your energy balanced. Even a quick walk or a few stretches can do wonders when things get hectic. So for anyone listening, remember to move your body because it truly helps more than you think. How about you, Kylie?
For me, I manage my stress by setting a schedule for my school projects and content creation so I don't feel overwhelmed. My tip is to always give yourself time to breathe and never feel guilty for resting because balance keeps you going.
I love that, Kylie. Time management is something a lot of students struggle with. But once you get the hang of it, everything becomes time. Planning ahead and giving yourself rest days really helps avoid burnout. Now that we have talked about how we cope with stress, let us move on to something equally important, which is learning to recognize the warning signs of excessive stress. Sometimes we become so focused on school and activities that we forget to check how we are feeling. What do you think are the possible signs that show when stress becomes too much?
Can I answer that? So, based on my experience, one common sign is when you start losing focus and enjoy the things that you love. Like for me, I love playing the guitar, but especially there are times when that I'm feeling pressured and stressed. I don't feel like I don't like to play, and due to that, due to that reason, I've actually tried to research some studies that is similar to what I'm experiencing right now. That such as stress can affect our concentration and make us feel drained. So that is why it is very much important to be aware of your stress and to take breaks for your mind.
I agree with that, Carl. I also noticed that when I'm too stressed, I easily get irritated or lose interest into talking to people. It feels like I just want to be alone all the time.
Actually, yes, I very much agree with you. Just like me, because I'm very much stressed due to academics. Every time I wake up and somebody wants to talk to me, like ask a lot of questions, I don't like to talk to them. Like I feel irritated so easily, and so that's why I try to remind myself to pause and do something simple, like what I like the most, which is playing the guitar, listening to music, and that's about it.
That is a good idea. For me, I try to take a break from social media or go out for a walk. Sometimes fresh air and silence helps me clear my mind.
Those are really great points, both of you. Stress can show up in many ways, whether through tiredness, mood changes, or loss of interest. What matters most is being aware of these early signs and taking care of yourself before it becomes too much. Before we move on, let's have a quick mini game. This one is stress check. I'll be reading a few scenarios and you'll tell me if it's stress triggers or stress reliever. Ready?
Ready? Let's go!
Okay, first one. Pulling an all-nighter to finish a project or schoolwork.
Stress reliever?
No.
Reliever ba?
Stress trigger.
Mali ako!
Next, listening to your favorite playlist while studying.
That's a stress reliever for me.
Thought it was stress-free. Right, bro.
Okay.
Third, saying yes to every task even when you're already.
No, that's a big stress trigger. We gotta learn to say no, bro. No.
That's right. Next is journaling.
This is just really
Stress reliever.
Yeah, I think it's just giver.
Okay.
Wow.
For the last one, taking short breaks or quick walks between classes.
That's definitely a
Stress
stress
reliever.
That was a nice game, everyone. Just to show that a few small choices can make a big difference in how we deal with stress.
Warm up lang.
Now that we've warmed up, let's get some expert
Ayan, mga
advice.
expert.
We've heard how stress affects different students, so now let's hear from someone who's studying the human mind and behavior. We're here with Miss Lei Jessica Cornejo, a 19-year-old and a second-year psychology student from San Beda University, Manila, to talk more about stress and how we manage it better. Question 1. As a psychology student, what do you think are the common cause of stress among students?
So, I think the common causes of stress among students are their academics and, of course, yung personal issues nila. Because this one can clash anytime to the point that it can be hard for the students to handle, and it leads to them having stress. So, because in each student din naman, we don't know how they handle it. It can be very hard for them when academics or when submissions are piled up. So, also adding here are peer pressures, lack of sleep, and yung grades nila, and having different responsibilities. So, when it comes to peer pressure kasi, commonly on schools, syempre, there are a set of peoples with different styles of how they cope or how they mature. So other students, they often feel like they have to go along with it, gano. And as well as they see their seniors or someone old to them, they become wanting to feel the relevance of what they are experiencing. Because if you're really different from how they are acting or how they really are, it can become a stress for you to think or also make you or parang makikisabay ganon sa kanila. So lack of sleep then and grades. So this has become an example sa mga profs ko every lesson then, because sleep is very important to students who really wants to excel. But of course, not everyone is the same to how they get their grades up or to how they study. But lack of sleep can lead to stress because if you have less sleep and you suddenly have a lot of things to do, you may think that, paano ko gagawin to? Ano unahin ko? Or maisip mo talaga na pagod na ako. And the common thing happens here is that we tend to have headaches. So, there can be minor setbacks to our plans of studying. So, lastly is yung having different responsibilities. So, this can be connected to what I've said first, yung academics and personal issues. Because once a person or a student has to juggle their time and academics, it can become a stress to them when the day comes na they have to choose kung ano yung uunahin nila. So that can be really stressful to someone na having different responsibilities, and kailangan talaga may mauuna sa lahat ng gagawin natin. Ayun.
Question 2. How can students tell if their stress level are becoming unhealthy, and what can they do to manage it effectively?
So, from what I can observe kasi, so a student can tell their stress level when they can recognize their own struggles. So, what do I mean here? Kasi, a student can often feel burnt out the responsibility of doing their task or doing organizational task, because if you really love something or if you really love what you do, you can manage those works na ibibigay sa'yo. But iba't iba naman tayo kung paano natin talaga i-handle yon. So pagka ganun, may mga lalesen yung stress natin if we really love what we do. So, another one is that, feel mong irritated ka sa presence ng iba or just you really feel irritated sa surroundings mo rin. So, this is because your body cannot simply connect or control to how others act. So, you simply want them to be like this because um, para yun sa own convenience mo, para malasan yung stress mo doon na dapat ganito yung isang tao kasi stress ka na, ayaw mo nang sumabay sila, ganon. So, another one here is yung emotions because you can say that your emotions are all over the place. So, you cannot decide whether to be happy for this one or that because all of you can think of or the one that drives you really crazy is yung stress mo na nafe-feel. So when you're facing a decision then it can be really hard because you cannot process it very well. It becomes a struggle for you. So to manage this effectively is to assess yourself, bring out the reasons why you feel this stress, question yourself what led me to face or have this stress. Then there, you can start what you can do to eliminate or to level it down for you to know um what next move you can do, and that is to work on it. If you already know that it gives you stress, then the next thing you can do is to face it. You should know you would know how to basically handle it. So, another one here is meditation. So, actually, tinuturo to sa amin ng mga profs namin or ginagawa namin to sa ibang subjects namin sa psych na mag-meditate between classes actually. So, this one is very important in managing stress because it gives you some time to think of yourself or to think blankly lang na parang walang stress ganon. So, para matanggal siya. Ayan.
Question 3. How important do you think it is for students to reach out for help when dealing with stress? And why do some find it hard to do so?
So, it's really important for students to reach out when they cannot handle it anymore kasi there are some talaga na kaya pa. So, pagka severe na talaga yung na-feel na stress, it's really important na mag-consult sa mga guidance, sa family or friends because this can affect your mental health talaga. So, may mga guidance office naman there, especially sa mga schools, to vent out yung mga stress na feel natin. So, some find it hard to reach out mga ganon because they're afraid of being judged, whether their stress or just small reasons. So, it is not. Dahil kahit sabihin natin small siya, it is not because it can really affect to paano ka kikilos or gagawa ng isang bagay. So, it can also be hard because some knows what you feel or what you've been experiencing, yet yung feedback nila is hindi mo kaya or parang hindi mo matanggap kasi syempre parang gusto mo ganito yung bagay or ganito yung gusto mong matanggap, ganon. So, that's why students tend to keep it to themselves na lang. So, it is also helpful for students to remember that stress can be really different for everyone then. So small to sa isang tao, it can be really big or overwhelming, ganon. And hindi siya in, and that does not make their feelings less valid. So, di lang to dapat in a person, dapat ma-recognize din to ng iba kasi syempre, parang papasok din to kung paano mo isipin yun. So, being able to acknowledge this can encourage other students din naman to be kinder to themselves talaga and to be more open to seeking comfort and support. So, understanding that everyone has different limits can make it easier to accept help when it's needed then. So, actually, masabi ko rin is building a healthy support system can also make a big difference here kasi at least here, makita mo na pagka-open ka sa ibang tao, hindi ka mahihirapan So para mas na manage mo yung self mo since mental health is very important. So this can make a big difference to how student can cope to stress. So this can include joining organization din para at least malasan doon yung stress na ma-think mo na may ibang tao na ganito rin. So I think they can also help me. So forming study groups then. So at least you know that people are there na parang ka-same level mo ganun, or simply surround yourself with students or people na genuinely would care about your well-being. So with that, students feel supported and understood. So they are more likely to open up and manage their stress better and maintain a healthier mindset throughout their academic journey. Ayun.
Ayun. Thank you so much po sa mga answers mo po. And yun, thank you for your time din po.
That was really insightful. Now that we've heard a psychology student's perspective, let's head back to our podcast and hear more tips and experiences from our guests. Now that we've talked about the warning signs of stress, let us move on to something that every student can relate to, which is how to manage it. High school can be full of challenges from academics to personal responsibilities, so learning how to stay balanced is very important. What are the tips that you can share to help students handle stress better?
So personally, one of the most helpful things for me is learning to how to manage my time properly. I make a list of what I need to do and finish them by one instead of trying to do everything at once. So with that reason, it helps me to stay calm and focused, especially during busy weeks or during hell weeks.
I completely agree with you, Carl. Time management really makes a big difference because it keeps you from feeling overwhelmed. For me, I also make sure to take short breaks while studying or working so that my mind can rest and I can study productively.
That is true, Elon. That is true. You need
Still be
15 minutes
productive.
of rest can recharge you and make you think more clearly. It's not about working non-stop, but working smart and knowing
When to pause.
when.
Ah,
Exactly.
kumbaga,
When to
work smart, not...
Hard.
Work smart,
smarter.
smarter.
Ayun!
Alam mo
Those are great insights, both of you. Managing stress during high school is about finding balance between work and rest. When you learn how to organize your time and listen to your body needs, everything becomes easier to handle. Always remember that success in school is not only about grades, but also taking care of yourself along the way. Balance, discipline, and self-care are real keys to manage stress and enjoying the journey. Before we wrap up, we just want to share some helpful resources for anyone who wants to know more about stress management or just needs a little extra support.
So, if you're into reading, you can check out the book titled The Stress-Proof Brain by Melanie Greenberg or How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole, LePera. They talk about understanding your stress and turning it into your own personal strength.
For online stuff and articles, you can visit the links that is shown below: www.apa.org, topic stress, or www.mentalhealth.gov. So they've got simple tips to help you deal with stress in a healthy way.
And if you ever feel like you're really struggling, don't keep it to yourself. You can call the National Mental Health Crisis Hotline at 1553 for Luzon. There's always someone ready to listen.
I agree. Listeners, you have to remember, reaching out for help doesn't mean you're weak. It actually shows strength. You're never alone in this.
Wow, we've covered a lot today, from stress to cause and effects and different ways to cope. It is really amazing to hear how each of you manage stress differently and stay strong despite the challenges you face. At the end of the day, stress is something we all experience, but the way we handle it makes a big difference.
Do you have something to say, Sensei?
Yeah, thanks for having us in this episode.
Yeah!
I've learned that staying active really helps me release stress and keep my mental and physical health healthy.
So for me, I realized that taking a break and doing what you love is important to avoid experiencing burnout.
Same here. Enough rest and proper time management really matters. Pushing yourself too hard just makes stress worse.
Yes.
And we shouldn't also forget to take care of our mental health. It's okay to rest and recharge.
Exactly!
Before we end today's episode, let us make this more interactive. We want to hear from you, our listeners. How do you manage stress as a student? What are the things that help you stay positive even when school gets tough?
Comment down below.
That is a good idea. You can share your answers with us on our YouTube page and tell us your own experiences about handling stress in high school. We would love to read your stories and maybe feature some of them in our next episode.
Yes, and you can also send us a question about school life or any topic about what you want to talk about. It is nice to know that we are not alone in feeling stressed and that other students go through the same things.
Exactly. Sharing your thoughts can help others feel supported and inspired. So do not be shy, send us message or comments and let us keep this conversation going even after the podcast ends.
Beyond the spotlight!
Below.
Thank you everyone for tuning in into the Beyond the Spotlight, where we dive deeper into the real stories behind student life. We truly appreciate your time watching and supporting our podcast.
So it was great sharing our experiences, and we hope you learned something valuable about managing this.
Guys, remember to take care of yourselves and find time to do the things that makes you happy.
And do not forget that it is okay to rest and ask for help when things get tough and heavy.
And most importantly, keep believing in yourself and never let stress take away your passion.
Before we say our goodbyes, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And
Right, guys!
gusto nyo ba promote yung IG nyo, guys?
Yes!
Okay, go.
So you can follow me at my IG, Janasense with a S, double S. Thank you.
You guys can follow me on my IG account, Kylie_Mix, and my TikTok account, LILZYY.
My IG account,
So, my IG account is at usual card. Your usual card.
And my IG account is biography of Macau.
Okay guys, meron po tayong special intermission by
Sample!
Sige table. Okay.
So, para sa iyo to.
So for my intermission for today, this song is called... Hindi mo alam? Tensionado! May string kasi tayo. Yan. 1, 2, 3, go! Tensionado, nagulat din ako nung malaman na hindi na ako nung nanghinayang nung nag-away tayo noon at natuluyan sa kanya ng tampo at sandali lang. Huwag ka munang magsalita, di ko hayaan. At ito ay mawala ang iniisip ko. Kung pwede ba tayo?
Once again, this has been the Beyond the Spotlight. Thank you for listening and we hope you share this episode with your friends. See you in our next one. Goodbye.